Living for more than a decade in Thailand is long enough to alter Adrian's perception of the country. Some things he thought were bizarre when he first arrived are not so strange anymore. Nevertheless, he's still fascinated by the Thai traditions he's experienced through his film production work.
There's a beautiful tradition of paying respect at the beginning of a shoot. So you do merit effectively at a sort of little makeshift shrine that we build on the shoot. And there's a real beauty to that. It focuses the crew, everyone kind of comes together. There's a moment of reflection, a pause before the madness of the film shoot starts. And that's quite beautiful. And that was something that I'd obviously never seen in the West. Obviously in Australia we don't do that. But I really liked the humility and the beauty of that experience. It was great. Yeah.
Then I asked Adrian what it's like to live in a city which he calls a super crazy yet amazing metropolis.
Obviously Bangkok's a super crazy place, hectic, the traffic's mad, all that kind of stuff. But you can have these food experiences, or you can have these sort of cultural experiences, which when you pinch yourself and you stop and you go, hang on, I'm Australian, I'm living here in this amazing metropolis, you sort of appreciate it a bit more. You've got to stop and got to think about it, and you kind of go, okay, I'm having this great food experience, or I'm having this, alleyway, side of the road food experience, which is really, really interesting and delicious and tasty. And you go, that is not available to me as a Westerner where I come from. And that's unique. That's the thing, that's the novelty of living in a foreign city, there's so much to discover. And I don't think you can discover all of Bangkok in one lifetime. There's so much stuff. Chinatown and all this really interesting stuff that the locals can take you to and you can kind of discover if you've got time. But there's so much to discover in this city. It's fabulous, beautiful.
The coronavirus pandemic has not only upended people's lives, but also transformed most industries around the world, including film production. It's been pushed into a full digital transformation. Adrian tells me why he thinks this change is so compelling.
Because in our industry, we've seen two things happen in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, actually a little bit longer, is the move to full digital transformation in our industry. And this has affected everything. It's not just the way we shoot on digital cameras, but it's also now the way we present materials. The shoot we did last week, we had our film crew with no director actually on set. The director was in Turkey. We had a client in the Netherlands. We had the agency in the Philippines. In fact, we had clients all over the place, in Singapore, all over. It was a multi-region campaign. No one was actually on set apart from our crew. It was the most extraordinary thing. And if you think about, I was just saying to a friend last night, if you think about how much they've actually saved, there would be tens of thousands of dollars that would have been saved in per diems, air travel, accommodation, all that stuff. And normally we would have, in addition to the director, we would have 5, 6 agencies flying in, clients flying in, so they're all on set normally. I'm sure the clients are going to be looking and going, okay, we've just saved about $50,000, $80,000 by not flying people in. We've just shot 4 commercials with no problem, all via the internet. We've got 5G here in Thailand, as you know now, so that was all running through 5G, streaming to their laptops while they're sitting at home in quarantine watching a shoot take place. There's a pretty strong argument from a client's point of view of not going back to the status quo of flying people to set. Can you imagine how compelling that argument would be, right, for a client to go, okay, that line item, travel and accommodation, not to mention the disruption of a client flying to another country to do a shoot, that all has been dealt with through the digital transformation of our industry. So these products were maybe sort of sitting off there in the wings, and now everyone's having to adopt them because of out of necessity. So yeah, I think what it's saying is it's difficult for us now to predict where the market's going to go, because it's just changing so quickly. The profile of the industry has completely changed in the last 12 months.